want to welcome everybody to the Decision Lens Fall 2015 release webcast. We're very excited for everybody to join us today, and we're really excited to introduce a new set of features and enhancements that we really think are going to make your prioritization faster, more powerful, and more customizable. Today we're going to hear from Sanjay Nair. He's our Vice President of Product Management here at Decision Lens. He and his team are responsible for all of the enhancements and features that you're going to see today. My name is Michael Rahm. I'm Product Marketing Manager here, and I'm going to help walk everybody through all of the features and really let you know kind of what they mean to you as users. The Fall 2015 release is really all about ratings. You know, the most important part of the portfolio analytics is the data. And with this release, we've really accelerated the data collection process. We've created some really great customizable user interactions and then enlightened stakeholders with new powerful analytics. And so we've got 5 sections that we're going to run through. I really want to focus, though, on the top 4 sections, and this is really broken down by our data collection setup, the actual data collection, so going through and having our stakeholders do all of the ratings, and then once we've collected that data, get into the data analysis, see what insights that we can gain from this process so that we can make our prioritization even better. We'll then go into a new section. Since we last met, we haven't had a webcast like this since about April. In between then, we've had some smaller releases with some enhancements and some features that I want to talk to everybody about, so we'll go through those as well. So, jumping right into everything, I want to talk about our new ratings wizard. The wizard really brings portfolio owners not just greater control over the ratings process, but we really think it's going to help you collect even better data from your stakeholders. So you're really able to set the stage for your stakeholders, do things like provide customized instructions, review all of your ratings assignments, attach important documents that you think that your stakeholders are going to need in order to provide their best judgments while doing their ratings. So I'm going to pass the ball over to Sanjay, and we're going to jump into our first demo and let him show you live exactly how this wizard works.
Thanks, Michael. Pleasure to be with everybody today. So I wanted to show the first feature that Michael is referring to with regard to our wizards for rating collection. When a portfolio owner sets up a portfolio and they've going into the rating collection process, we've moved to a wizarding approach where you see other parts of the application to really make it easy for our users to understand all the features and settings that might be there. So you'll see when there's no ratings that have been collected, we have a pretty easy access to the wizard. And there's a number of sections that are part of the wizard. The first is the ability to customize the instructions. There'll be some default text in this area, so to let users know exactly what it is that's asked of them. But portfolio owners can change these instructions and customize it for whatever the portfolio, whatever the process is as well. We can also add supporting documents. So these are documents that will be part of the task, so when the users go in to complete their ratings, these might be things that might help them understand more about the organization, about the process itself. When the email gets sent out that's notifying of this task, all of this information will be part of that email as well, so we'll have a bit of context as to what is exactly being asked. Next section is settings. Really, as Michael referred to, there's a lot more customizable, a lot more powerful, and really a lot more simple for users to be able to set up how they want their subject matter experts to go about the rating collection process. To touch on each of these settings, the first one is in terms of whether they can view and reply to other people's comments. Sometimes you might want users, and this is the default setting, is that we want to create a community around Decision Lens, and we want to have people be able to make more informed decisions. And those information that goes into those ratings can be based on what other people have commented and the information that they're providing. So there's an ability to view other people's comments and reply to those comments, but there may be times where a portfolio owner doesn't want to do that. They want to have people able to not be biased by other people's opinions, and that comment stream, users can still comment, but it's a one-way. Other raters cannot see that. It only goes to portfolio owners. There's an ability to abstain or not abstain, so portfolio owners can turn this on to allow users to say, you know, I actually don't want to answer this question. It still counts towards the progress of their overall task, but they're not answering the overall question. We have some more control over how the raters are seeing their results. As you all know, the ratings are married up with the priorities of each of the criteria, and we can set which priorities we want to use. Do we want to use what the group came up with? Do we want to use what the individual rater used? So it gives a little bit more flexibility of what you want the individuals to see their results against. And we also have a new area where you can add labels to the comments. So you don't have to use this, but if you want to have an additional ability to structure the comments, you might want to say, what type of comment is this? Is this a strength or a weakness? Is this a major or minor? So whatever you want to put in here, you can add comment labels, however many you'd like, however many different options. So when you just add comments, it's a new ability to be able to sort those comments by these. The next is in terms of assignments. When you add your participants into the portfolio, you can also set up the assignments. This is something that's been in the product for a while. But as part of the collection, we do want to make sure that as you're setting this up and you're asking people to do the ratings, you know what you're asking them to do. Are you asking them to rate all the alternatives and all the criteria, or is it a subset? So this gives you a quick overview, and if you do want to go back and edit that, quick link to go back and make those changes. Next big change is that we have a lot of data around alternatives, whether it's numeric or text data in terms of what these alternatives are. And for users to make informed decisions about these, they really should make use of all the great information that's already contained within DecisionLens. So we do offer that now to be able to allow users to see this data, but there might be times where you don't want a subject matter expert or some of our contributors to see a data element that is part of the portfolio. So in this example, we have something that's internal audit findings, which might be something that the portfolio owners are monitoring, but when the users go in to do their ratings, they don't want to see. So you can mark any of these as private, and then when the users go in, and we'll show this later when we go into the data collection piece, they won't see that as part of the information. And lastly, there's just a quick review of here's all the instructions, and you can go quickly back and go back and edit. And then if I want to start the rated collection, the email will be sent out and a task will show up.
Great. Thank you, Sanjay. You know, again, this is a great opportunity for portfolio owners to set the foundation of really collecting the absolute best data to make the prioritization process even better. You know, this is an opportunity to provide very precise instructions, especially for new users who maybe this is the first time they're using DecisionLens within your organization. Make sure that we're setting the stage for them properly so that they fully understand exactly the data that we're looking for and the data that you want them to provide. So now we're going to kind of switch hats here and talk about, you know, from a stakeholder perspective, the data collection piece of the ratings process. You know, we are always striving with every release to make the user experience better, and we take that feedback from our customers. And so now what you see here is a really refined and redesigned interface that not only offers a much better workflow, we think, for the user experience, but it's also providing as much data as possible. So here you see we've got our criteria and ratings definitions. Sanjay was just talking about the other information that we can provide on this screen, and we'll show that later about our different alternatives. And so really what we want to do is make sure that as a stakeholder, I have everything that I need to make the most informed judgment and give the best ratings that I can and provide the portfolio the best data that I can so that we can have a better prioritization overall. And so along with that, we've created some new methods for actually going through the ratings process. Kind of my favorite new way of ratings here is our multi-ratings view. So I can now go through and I can rate all of my alternatives against a single criterion, and vice versa. I can rate an alternative, or I can rate a criterion against all of my alternatives. And that way I'm just speeding up the process. I'm making the ratings process my own, and I can kind of do it however I want. I can also choose to rate in kind of a nonlinear fashion where I can jump between alternatives and criterion. So if I have got some especially strong feelings or I'm very knowledgeable about a specific project or investment, I can go in there, start with that project, I can provide all the input, and then later go back to maybe some other projects that I'm not so knowledgeable on and I really want to focus and learn more about, and then provide those. And as Sanjay said before, we also have the ability now to abstain from ratings if our portfolio owners have given us that ability. So along with making it faster, we really want to make this process more customizable for our users. And we've also, we think some of these features are also going to speed up the ratings process as well. So we've got a few that I want to talk about. The first is our Enable Auto Advance. This is a great feature to save time and save yourself some clicks well. So if I'm rating in a single view and I have this enabled, I'm able to choose my rating and then have decision lines automatically take me to the next rating that I need to complete. So again, just save some clicks, save some time for you. I can also enable the hide completed, which is really going to help me declutter my workspace. There's a lot of times where maybe I'm skipping around within the ratings process, and if I want to go back, instead of having to scroll through all of my completed ratings, I now will jump to those that I only need to do. All of the ones that I've completed are hidden from me. If I don't want to use my mouse at all, if I don't want to use my trackpad at all, I can use some keyboard shortcuts to rate. And then we've also included some great enhanced sorting, filtering, and searching. I can search for a specific project. I can search for a specific criterion, and I can go directly to that one. So just, again, some great features that will help me speed up the process, make the ratings process my own so that I'm able to provide the best data that I possibly can. And then again, like Sanjay talked about, we've enhanced the commenting section. This is, again, a great way to boost stakeholder engagement, make sure that you understand why others are voting the way they are, why they're giving the ratings they are, view and reply to user comments. Just keep that conversation going. Make sure that we are more engaged in the process and so that we can all make this portfolio better. And then, the culmination of this entire process is my own personal ratings results page. If I was the sole owner of this portfolio, this is the way the projects would shake out in my worldview. There's some great features here for you as a user. You can view all of your own data by criterion. You're able to drill. You're able to do some filtering and sort in different ways so that you can kind of see how things shake out in your world. It also gives you your overall progress so that at any point you can come here, you can view results, you can see how much more you have to do, and then continue on or know that you're 100% complete. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Sanjay, and we can see some of this stuff live.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, this is one that we're really excited about because this feature is one that's probably one of the most used across all our DecisionLens users because it's where you're reaching out to your stakeholders to try to get that information and collect all the data. And it's something that we try to strike a fine balance between getting the right amount of information, but also making this easy and simple and convenient so to have the super users have capabilities that they can use when they want to, but also make this very simple for the folks that aren't coming in there and doing as many as some others. And you'll see that when I go into the task that there's a landing page that gives a lot of the information about why I'm even here. So as Michael mentioned, I'm sort of changing my role here as a contributor, and I'm responding to the task that says I've been asked to rate some alternatives. And when I click in here, I see that I've got some information about what is even the portfolio that we're talking about, what's the goal of the portfolio, who even asked me to do this. There's a quick contact info, so if I do have questions, I can quickly just get the email and send an email off. And the instructions are here, and these you'll recognize these are the same instructions that the portfolio owner had put in here that are the customizable instructions for this particular task, and also the attachments if I want to open that up to say, let's look at these before I start this. And it also gives me a quick glance at what are all the alternatives I'm going to go about doing ratings for, and what are the criteria that I'm going to be rating as well. So I could jump into these specifically, but if I want to get started, I can just click the button to get started. And one thing you'll notice is that the interface itself is just much cleaner, smoother, faster, and easier to discover new features and to work with. You'll notice that the alternatives that you're rating are always in a blue color, and the criteria that you're rating against are always in a purple color. So you can always get a little bit of bearing as to what it is that you're looking at and what it is that I'm being asked to rate. So in this situation, I'm rating Apollo against enabling geographic expansion, and as I hover over these, I can understand what it is that each of these ratings are. But I can also get more information. If I don't know what Apollo even is, I can click on Apollo and I can get all the information, all that metadata about the description, what's the location, some metric data, there's an attachment for the Apollo strategic plan. So I've got a lot more information at my fingertips now to be able to make an informed decision about how I should be rating this information. Similarly, if I don't know what enables geographic expansion is, I can open up the side panel to get that information about what is the further description about the criteria, how does it fit within the criteria tree, what are the scales themselves. And these will stay open as you want to keep them open as I start rating. So if I want to go ahead and rate, I can rate, it'll count for me. The other part of this is that I can see I have comments. So down here, you'll see there's 2 comments that have already been made. And if I go in here, I can see that 2 other users have made comments to this. And that this might, the fact that the portfolio owner has allowed comments to be viewed for other folks, I can see other people's comments, and I can see that people are saying, wow, this is trending pretty well. Even in the Asia Pacific region, it's trending well. And so there's replies to this comment. I can also reply and say, thanks, I didn't realize that. And you can start a whole discussion around this. The original person will get an email to notifying there's some additional comments, but it really helps inform my, my overall decision. And as I go through, I can click next, get to the next rating that I need to do, and I can keep going individually, sort of one by one. One thing that you'll notice is that we keep with the alternative, and we have you go through each one for the next criteria within each alternative. But if I wanted to jump around, I could. If I wanted to say, you know, I'm interested in doing a different alternative and I wanted to do Wombat, I can search and I can jump right over to a different alternative. Or if I wanted to do a different criteria, I can do that as well to say, let me go to demonstrate technical feasibility. And if I wanted to go ahead and rate that one, I could. Some of the convenience features that Michael had mentioned are down here of enabling auto advance and hide completed. And really this is if I wanted to try to go quickly and not have to click next, I can enable auto advance. You can think of this almost like a cruise control, that when I have auto advance on and I place a rating, then you'll notice that I'm not having to click next. I can just click, it goes to the next one, and I can go as fast as I want. If I'm familiar with these alternatives and these criteria, then I can go very quickly. The other thing that you'll notice is that these progress bars, this one is the progress bar for the Flamingo alternative, and I also have an overall progress up here of how I'm doing, and these will progress as I go forward, so I can see kind of how much progress I've done for each alternative and for each overall. The other thing you'll notice is that there is letters that are next to each of these. So again, if we're talking about the super users, you can actually use your keyboard instead of having to click. So I'll move the mouse over, and if I wanted to go for weak, I can just type the letter A. I have auto forward on, and I can just very quickly go through. So, you know, we're trying to make it easy for folks who are very familiar, and if you're not, you can go at whatever pace that you want to go at. Michael mentioned the multi-view. So this is a single view, so I'm looking at one particular alternative against one particular criteria, and that may be a way that you want to go about doing your ratings, but we want to provide the convenience to be able to do this in whatever view that you'd like to see. So it could be that I'm actually interested in looking at an alternative, but I want to say, you know, I really want to focus on Apollo, so I want to go to the multi-view for Apollo, and you'll see that this drop-down menu has the ability to navigate, but I can also rate this alternative in MultiView. And when I go to MultiView, you'll see that Apollo is locked at the top, and I have all the specific criteria against Apollo, so I can concentrate just on Apollo. All of the information is still available here as well, so I can still get that information. And now I can say, let's just concentrate on Apollo, and I'm going to go ahead and just rate Apollo. All of the commenting as well is part of here, so I can open up the comment panel and provide comments as necessary or as required. And the other nice feature within the alternative multi-view is that I can copy a rating. So if I know that Apollo is very similar to another project, and I don't want to have to go through and say, well, how did I score that one? I can actually click copy rating and know that Apollo is very similar to Project Prelude, and I can just copy those ratings over, and it's going to overwrite those. So it makes it very easy so that we don't add extra work for folks for no particular reason. Just similarly, as we can rate one particular alternative against all the criteria, if I wanted to concentrate on one of the criteria and rate all the alternatives against that, I can do that. So if I go to a criteria in the same navigation menu, I can rate a criteria in MultiView. So in the MultiView now, we have the criteria at the top and all the alternatives. So I might want to concentrate just on geographic expansion and look at all of my alternatives against that. The nice thing about this view is that you could filter these, and if I might say that I know that all of my Asia-Pacific region projects, all are global expansion projects, I can filter by Asia-Pacific, and then I can do a bulk rating for these to be able to select these all at one time. The other piece that I can look at now that on my front page is that I have a progress bar that shows me how I have my overall progress, and at any time I can view my results. So I can look at the results and I can sort these the same way as the other MultiView features, but I can see how things are progressing as I'm going about doing my ratings. In the results view, I can filter on the left side if I want to look at just one particular type of criteria. I can also drill down. So if I'm looking at my overall results and I'm interested in, gosh, I'm surprised that DeepWell didn't do very well in leveraging core competencies, I can double-click to get into the lower-level criteria of this, and I can see, well, okay, now I can understand why it didn't do well because I rated it very, very poorly on all three of these sub-criteria. And if I want to go even further into that, I can say, well, I'm not sure I actually agree with this anymore. I can double-click into it. It'll tell me I'm going back to edit a rating, and it'll take me back to this, and I can say, you know, I actually think it's a better rating than it was before. So we provide a lot of power to make it very easy and very intuitive to be able to do the ratings, however you want to do the ratings, and be able to see your results and understand the implications of this. The other thing that we have is an ability to download. So if you want to download this in a image or a PDF, you can also download data. So if you wanted to download the Excel spreadsheet that does the underlying data behind this, you can do that as well. I'll turn it back to Michael, next section.
Thank you, Sanjay. You know, we released this now 2 weeks ago today. I've been talking to some of our folks in professional services who are working with some of our clients that are kind of in the middle of ratings process now, and they said that prior to this, you know, some engagement, especially with executives, wasn't as great. Now that they've got this, especially with the multi-ratings view, they've seen a spike in executive engagement, being able to provide all of that data from their point of view. So again, these are great features that are going to make the data collection process faster, and you're going to be able to gain and gather the best data that you possibly can for your portfolio. So now we've gathered all of our data from all of our stakeholders. What do we do with this data? What are some ways that we can look at it? We've provided some really great new analytics and some views behind this, starting with my ratings overview page. You know, this is a great snapshot of all the data that's in my portfolio, all the data that's been provided by my stakeholders, and this is now my jumping off point for analysis. So on the left-hand side, you see I've got, you know, my top 15 results. I've got a breakdown of all of my users. I can see kind of where they are within the process. And then I've also got some the ability to jump between other pieces of analysis, different views and stuff that I can do. So if I were to select that top 15 graph on the left-hand side, that's going to take me into my full set of data. Here I've got a couple of different options. I can either view this in graphical or tabular format. So if I want to look at it as just kind of the snapshot on the left-hand side, I want to see my rank of projects. I've got the graphic interface. If I really want to drill down into that and I actually want to see the data behind that, I can go into my score sheet and I can see the values that make up these ratings. And then from there, I can do different filterings. I can sort different ways. I can drill into my data for further analysis and really understand what exactly it is that's going on. What's the data behind these? I think my favorite new graphic piece of analysis that we provide is just a new alignment heat map. You know, it's a great way to quickly understand your organizational agreement, and it's an easy way to understand, you know, in kind of 3 different areas. I can look at my alternative overall, the alignment there. I can look at a specific criterion overall, and then if I look in a cell, I can see the individual alternative criterion combination alignment. You know, the darker the green, the higher the alignment. When we start to move into our lighter greens and our pale yellows, that's where we have lower alignment. So maybe those are some different projects or some specific combinations that have low alignment that I really want to drill into and figure out why is the spread of ratings so great in these, you know, to make sure that we know why the people are giving us this data, and then really at the end of the day to ensure that our projects are going to be successful as possible and make sure that we've got the most alignment between our organization. We've got our alternative results graph. There's some vital statistics about how a specific alternative ranks against your criterion. So here you can see this is our mobile payment platform. It's our highest ranked project. It's got a great score. What's surprising to me, though, as I look through this is I can see, you know, it did really well with my alignment with corporate strategy, but as I look down, the competitive impact didn't score as well as I thought it would have since this is rated so highly. Maybe there are some things that we need to do to enhance this specific project. Maybe there are some different parameters that we need to set around this so that we can improve that competitive impact score. But it's just, again, a great piece of analysis to give you so that you can drill down into your data, figure out what's going on, and make your portfolio as best as you can. And then we've got the results graph that shows a good spread of how folks are rating the different alternatives in relation to a specific criterion. Again, just another good piece of analysis, a good piece of data for you to look at and gain insights into your portfolio. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Sanjay for our last demo.
Thank you again. So we are changing hats once again, and now we are the portfolio owners, and we are now, we've sent out the task to do the ratings, and now we are in the process of saying, wow, you know, let's look at the data that we got. And as Michael mentioned, I think this is probably one of the more powerful new sections of the release, to be able to have the analytics and understand what are the implications and what do the results mean. The first area you'll notice is that when I go to collect ratings, previously it had the setup screen where I got into the wizard, but now that the collection is open, what I have is a snapshot of how the collection is going. You can see that the collection is on or off. I can actually stop it by flipping the toggle. If I wanted to edit the ratings collection, I could edit it to change some of those parameters that I had set up before. But what I get is a quick snapshot of what's my top 15, what's winning, what's bubbling to the top right now. I also have a snapshot of progress, so I can see out of all the overall ratings that I've requested my subject matter experts to provide, 80% of the way done. I can also have this broken down by how many are completed, how many have started but not completed, and how many have not started at all. So it's a much easier way for us, a portfolio owner, to track are people doing what I've asked them to do, and I can even get down to the individual voter level to see who are those folks that have not started and what percentage of these people have they completed. So it gives a lot more of visibility. There's also quick links to jump into the different views that Michael had talked about. So I'll jump into the summary view, and this is a graphical view. It looks very similar to the user's results view, but it provides a little bit more information. So this tells us graphically, out of the collection of the rating results, what came out on top, and this is based on not only on the ratings, but also on the priorities of those criteria as well that the group had set. So in this view, we have all the same abilities to filter these by individual criteria, but we also have a control panel on the left. So if I wanted to look at what were the ratings for just one particular group, if I wanted to look at just the finance group, I can look at how they rated things. If I wanted to look at how the finance group rated the European projects, I can filter that. And you can also see we have a ribbon at the top, so if I wanted to turn off one of these filters, I can very easily, or clear them all out. So it's a great way for us to look at the results in aggregate at sort of the global level and to be able to understand how these each scored. The score sheet is a tabular view of that same data. So rather than having the graph, we have a tabular view, and this score sheet is divided up into weighted and unweighted. So the weighted is showing the same values that are based on the priorities of these individual criteria, but there may be times that you actually don't really want to see it in that sense, because something that is a very small weight, something that's only 0.02 of the overall decision, you see doesn't have very much contribution to the overall value. But if you wanted to see how people scored that overall, you can still see these, and now the raw numbers are there so that I can see that which ones scored very, very highly. And each of these are sortable as well. So if I wanted to sort these by the highest scoring projects and enabling geographic expansion, I can do that and see which ones scored high and low. And then lastly is the alignment heat map. The alignment heat map, what this is showing us is where there were variances between how the individual subject matter experts rated each individual either criteria alternative or combination of criteria and alternative. So when a alignment is very high, so if there's a 1, that means that every single person rated this exactly the same. And when a high alignment is low, that means that there was about as high of a variance in how people rated as we possibly could get. And this variance calculation is done using some mathematical principles to take into consideration the number of participants, the number of rating scales. So it's normalized in a way that makes it very easy to understand where there was very high alignment and where there was some disagreement between the group. So we have it for an individual alternative criteria. So there was a very high alignment for Apollo for customer benefit. But we also have it aggregated by alternative. So we can see that in general there was very high agreement for Project Mango and not as high agreement for Project Xena. So you can see which alternatives themselves have some disagreement in them, and it's also by criteria. So are there particular criteria that are more variant than the other ones? So it's a really powerful new way to look at the data and to be able to then drill down into what are the insights that I want to get from this. So on all of these screens, we have the ability to dive down into the details. So this is a global level of how the overall project score, but if I wanted to say, well, let me just look at a Project Apollo, I can look at this in aggregate, and I can see that in aggregate the project had an overall score of 0.4. It was ranked 26 out of 30, so not particularly high. I can see what the alignment was, whether it was high, medium, or low based on that score, how many have actually completed, and I can even toggle through these so I can start to get a sense of where did these score well and where did these not score well. If I want to jump to another one, I have the same navigation menu that I can jump and take a look at those, and I can expand and collapse the overall criteria tree. So if I just wanted to look at my overall parent criteria, you got a really great view to be able to see how did these differ from the overall ratings. And throughout all these views, the control panel's there, so if you wanted to filter this down to how a particular group rated, you can do that, or a particular individual. The other way we can dive down is by going into a specific view. So we have, excuse me. So if I wanted to jump into one of the higher areas of variance, you'll see this one is a very, very low alignment. So we have a lot of disagreement, and I can click on this and go directly down into the specific ratings that drove this. So the results graph is the overall view of how did the group rate this. So you can see that we had 3 people who rated it strong, we had 2 who rated it good, and we had 4 who rated it minimal. And this is a pretty low alignment because you have about half the group saying it's excellent and half the group saying it's very poor. And you can see that the unweighted average is 0.51, which is almost exactly in the middle, and that's why the alignment is so low. We have all the same statistics that we can show for Flamingo with respect to sustainability, that it ranks 16 out of all the alternatives, how many have completed, again, all the vital statistics there. And then we can dive down into individually who were the people who rated this. So we can see who were the folks that rated each one of these strong, good, and minimal. And then we also have the comments that came with this. So the Flamingo sustainability, that we can see that, oh, okay, I can see that some folks said this was strong and some folks said this was weak, and I can understand why people rated the way they did, and this could spur some conversation within the organization on why this, why it was the way that it was. With that, I will turn it back to Michael, and we'll wrap up.
Thanks, Sanjay. I'm totally a data geek, and so all of these new levels of analysis that we're providing people, and it's very exciting to be able to go in there and, after this data collection process, really dive into the data and see exactly what's driving these, see what new insights that we can glean out of this, and ultimately make the best decisions we can about the projects and investments that we're going to make as an organization. So thank you for that, Sanjay. All right, since we last met, we did our last big release webcast back in April. We have now, as an organization, developed faster product development cycle times. And so some of our smaller releases and some of these the smaller enhancements that we're bringing to you guys, we're actually now not doing the big webcast like this, but we're providing you all that information on our blog. So if you go to blog.decisionlens.com, not only will you get more information about the releases and features that have come out, but you also get new information on a variety of these topics. Different subject matter experts are providing information about different use cases and things like that within our blog. So if you haven't subscribed to that, please do. But 3 different features that have come out that I really want to talk about. The first one is our priority rank detail. This is a great, again, another layer of analysis that we can add. So in our sensitivity analysis, I can now add up to 3 columns of information about my projects and investments, whether those are metrics, location details, things like that, so that I'm able to, again, do some advanced filtering, sorting, get new insights into my data. You can see here now I've got this sorted, and I can see that all of my tech transformation products, there's a good smattering of locations, and so maybe that's very important for me to make sure that my projects are distributed amongst various locations. We've also got some new updated blueprints. For a lot of folks that don't know, our decision blueprints are really frameworks that serve as a starting point for you. So if this is your first time using DecisionLens or you're going to a new use case, we've got subject matter experts here that have been doing this for years and years and years, and really what we've put together are a good starting point for you to use that, they may not be all things to everyone, but we really think that they could be a solid 85% to get you the way there and really increase your time to value. So not only are the blueprints updated, but now everyone actually has access to the blueprints. So these are a great solution, a great tool for you to take advantage of in your prioritizations. And the last thing I want to touch on is our new support portal. It's a great way for you to not only get your technical questions answered, but if you are having any issues, put in support tickets. You can track all of the support tickets you have, know exactly where you are within the process with our support specialists. You can go directly to our blog, and you can also provide customer feedback. Like I said a while ago, we really take the feedback that you provide us to heart, and a lot of the feedback and a lot of the enhancements come from our customers. So it's a great method of getting that information to us is through that new support portal. So get started with DecisionLens today. We've got a few things. You can visit the What's New page at decisionlens.com/what's new. You'll see an overview of all of the different features and enhancements you saw today. There's also some links to some new product demo videos. You can go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/decisionlens. There are product demo videos. There are previous webcasts that we've done, not only product webcasts, but webcasts that we've done with different customers and subject matter experts on a range of topics. It's a lot of great content there. And then again, DecisionLens University is everything deep dive training into DecisionLens, everything from beginner level courses for the brand new user to super user courses for all of our portfolio owners out there. It is a great resource for everybody to take advantage of. So we've got a few minutes left. We've got a lot of great questions that have come in. And Sanjay, I think some of these are going to be directed towards you, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions and then we'll go from there. Is that okay with you?
Sounds good.
Great. One that I've seen a few times now, are we able to do bulk ratings still with this new ratings process?
We are, and I think I probably neglected to show that. So let me show you how that would work. So if I wanted to do a bulk rating, I could jump directly into a criteria, and if I wanted to say I want to bulk rate every single one of these a specific rating, I can select all. You'll see I have a rate multiple that pops up. If I want to go ahead and make them all global, I can, and then there you go. So it makes it very easy, and as I mentioned before, if you wanted to say you could sort this by a specific alternative category and then rate all those, so I think that'll be something that's pretty useful.
Great. Another question, when we're uploading the data, so if we're going to do bulk rating, do we still need to use a 97 to 2003 Excel file, or what file?
No, the latest Excel files, the XLSX files, should work just fine, so that you should have no problem uploading data, and if you do, please reach out to support and they can help you out.
Great. So last question we're going to get to today, we've seen this a few times. When are we going to be able to have some mobile ratings?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we actually have our development team working on that as we speak. So we have a very cool new mobile app coming that will let people get through and do these ratings on their phones. We are looking at early of 2016 to have that out for everybody, so keep a lookout. We'll make sure everybody's in the loop. Great.
Well, everybody, Sanjay, thank you for providing us all the information. I want to thank everybody on the line today. We are going to provide everyone a copy of this webcast. We're also going to provide everybody a copy of the deck so that if you've got some folks that you want to share this with, feel free to pass that along. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're always here to answer all your questions. All the questions that we didn't get to that came through the WebEx chat, we will get back to you as soon as possible for those. Again, for Sanjay and myself, Michael, thank you for joining, and we'll talk to you next time.